Hello, and welcome to the yard. That's what I like to call it anyway. Let me show you around. Shouldn't you? Wouldn't you like a look? Would you? Wouldn't you? Alright, I'll show you. Come with me this way. This here is my tent. I call it a tent because it's a tent. Right now there's a man with an orange nose sleeping in there. He's passed out. Watch out, be careful. Yes. Yes, he had a serious night last night. He's actually a scientist, this man, but the problem is he's out of money, out of luck, really, and he's had to start gimping himself. You know, when you haul yourself out as a gimp. Last night was a particularly severe case. He came back with internal bleeding and has not been the same ever since, quite frankly. Yes, I feel a bit sorry. Take it easy, Joe. It'll be better in the morning. It won't. Oops. This here is my house. As you can see, it's an original from 1963. Originally, this is a German truck. It was used in the war, and it was a war tour bus. Used to take passengers out to see the war. There's viewing holes, and inside is solid titanium steel to protect from bombs and explosions. So yeah, actually a funny story. My great uncle was the driver of this bus, and he went out one night for a piss, and well, let's just say his head isn't titanium steel, and he turned into a pizza, you know, big explosion. Grandpa is no more. Okay, all right. This is my other house. This one was hand built by Indonesian children. Funny story about that one as well. Whilst we were building it, there was a hedgehog infestation. The hedgehogs managed to break in, caused a hell of a lot of trouble, and yes, they pretty much rendered the toilets out of order. I don't know how they did it, but for some reason hedgehogs have a tendency to use proper facilities, and they did. And so if you have a building just around the forest or wooded area, just keep that in mind. There can be a problem. Yes? Okay. So here is my other house. As you can see, it's a boat, but I like to call it my house because I've lived in it for a while, and sometimes we have crazy boat parties, and yeah, it's pretty wild. At the moment, it's we're fixing it up. There's a big hole in the bottom, so. Again, this one has followed the design with the World War II tour bus, as you can see, with the holes. It's kind of a nautical style they went for whilst designing them, just simply because it was built in the same era, and yeah, she's a good boat. This one I call her name is Cockfart, and yeah, I call her that because Well, if a cock could fart, and I don't mean a penis, I just mean a cock. Uh, I just believe that's what. I mean, she really smells. Inside, it's disgusting. So it's a real shame, really. But if you stand outside, it's okay. There's enough air. Uh, okay, yes. I wasn't going to show you this, but I guess now you've seen it. So this is. I'm not proud of this, but now occasionally the toilet runs out, and I have to use this as my temporary toilet function. You can see this other domestic products, but that's just to disguise. If you could smell this, again, you would be horrified. It's worse than a cockfight, and yes, it's truly disgusting. I know. Occasionally, I have to just unleash. Oh, I'm sorry, but I'm used to the smell. I'm used to the smell. Actually, I feel sorry. I'm sorry.
Just close the lid.
For me, I actually I quite enjoy it now. The aromas of my own fart. I just. I'm sorry. It's just an addiction. It's something I try to refrain from, but. Sometimes this one time, the wheelbarrow is here specifically because at one point, you're not going to believe this, but at one point, I wrote to the Guinness Book of Records, they didn't believe me, but I took the biggest shit ever in the whole world. It was 17 meters long. I promise you, I had to, when I was making it, I couldn't believe it. I had been eating lots of protein. I ate quite a few eggs. We had lots of chickens at the time. And when I was pooping, I actually had to rotate. I was like that because it just wouldn't stop. And I just kept it and it just kept turning and turning and turning. 17.6 meters. I promise you this thing was insane. I tried to phone the Guinness Book of Records, but they wouldn't accept. Apparently, if you're going to do a third, just in case you're thinking of entering, it is important to do it in a straight line, like this. You see? Because if you do it in a circle, it's very difficult to get the proper measurements. So just keep that in mind. If you try to enter the Guinness Book of Records for the biggest shit in the world, they wouldn't believe it. But you're looking at it. This is the master shit, okay? Sure, okay? Alright. Yeah, we can observe. This is the man who actually. I should probably speak quietly. This is the man who. Last night we saw Joe in the tent this morning, and this is the man who hides out the gimps, and he may not look it, but he has a pipe of distance. Is I think 12.17 inches long, and just destroys. I mean, it pays good because Joe he's living in a tent, but he can now afford to go back to Poland, and now he will have lots of money. But I mean, internal bleeding, you see what happens. But so just you know, if you come here, I guess you can speak to the Chris man. But for me, I wouldn't. It's not worth it. I'm sorry. I need my ass to do the shits, otherwise how am I going to win? So, okay, alright. Yeah. Yeah, alright. I like it. So anyway, I guess I should show you around the rest of the place. This is actually, to be honest, I own everything here. This is kind of a joke. My grandfather, who died in the truck, taking a piece in the war. He was actually a very rich man, and I say rich man. He was very good at gambling, and at one stage, all he had in his life was just he's a Polish man, and all he had is just a one horse and one horse and a packet of custard creams, and he took it to a very important match, and managed to haggle his way in, and. He started at the bottom. He just bought the lowest of the chips, you know, when you play poker, and he just had I think 5 chips or something like this, and he just well, to be honest, he was a bit of a prankster, and people didn't realize, but he kept slipping the more chips, more and more chips, and then soon he had this massive amount of chips, and. And then it just came down to one game. Him against Fat Josecrina. And Fat Josecrina was an Italian woman, very fat, lots of facial hair. Unfortunate for her, but I mean fortunate for him, because he actually didn't realize that she was a woman. And had he done so, he's truly against. He was a very moral man, and had he known, he would not have taken the money of her. But as he assumed, she was a man because of the facial hair. How could he? I mean, I've seen photos, and she looks like a man, and I guess we can't blame him. So yeah, and it came down to this match, and it was serious. It took, I think, 17 and a half hours. They were drinking, partying, smoking. I can't even explain to you the drugs. Afterwards, he looked like a donkey. He had been raping in the butt for a long time, and it was a shame. But anyway, it came down to it, and eventually they had to show their cards at the final hand. And you guess what? You only guess what? Yeah, he won. He won the game, and it was truly magnificent. And here we are. This is what we win. Land and boats. Yeah. Unfortunately, my cousin Joe, he does not have money. I do not have money to sell this place. Apparently the market is shit. I cannot help him, and now he has to service himself. He has to hire his ass for services, and it's a shame, but these are the times, I guess. This is just a circumstance. But anyway, this is why I drink I shouldn't show you this, I guess, but this is a Polish beer. Actually, this is also a heritage of my family. They begin this beer in 1417. The original ingredients I shouldn't tell you, but it was piss, because at the time they just didn't have any water, and they just couldn't. They brewed it, but people they didn't know, and they like it, and and but now we try make the ingredients a bit different. It's still a bit of piss, but you want to get pissed, don't you? Ah, yes, okay. Ah, sorry, that was a stupid joke, but yes. So that's the story. Perhaps you want to look around, see what else is. But yes, it's a strange circumstance.